So yeah, I'm trying to decide whether it is the smarter move to play one theme and 1, 2, and then I work on 3 and then play theme 1, 2, 3 as a unit, or do I want to do 3, 4, 5 as a unit? I mean, I don't know how to best chunk these. All right. Well, the real question, the first actual question, is what is getting in the way? What is getting in the way of me playing 3 just by itself, all the way through? I'm distracted because that toilet is running when it ought not to be running. And I'm listening to make sure it will stop. It will stop. It has stopped. All right. There are so many things in a house. And I was just thinking that this is sometimes why performers have, sort of handlers and things. But who cares, ultimately? Learn how to do it as your own handler. Indeed. Here we go. Okay, so all right, so we already know that what is preventing me from getting in the way of this is not even necessarily the toilet running. It's this. It's that. That is getting in the way of me not playing. Okay, still is. So this, I feel, is a bit like this. At one point I could play it most of the time, much of the time. And at this point I can play this several of the times. And when I come back to it even 3 days later, I cannot So something is not actually being learned, it's just being repeated. And good glory if I knew what it was. I don't want to just bash at this without knowing what I need to do to make it better. That's getting, it's funny how a little bit more of that is coming back every time I play it. Okay. So the inefficiency is probably here. That is my guess. I don't know if it's correct. I mean, this seems very, there doesn't seem any problem with that. One of the problems is that this is louder than this, and I think this should be louder. Oh, hey! Good job. Okay, so if this is the problem, and if that problem we are going to assume is consistent throughout all of the gestures, then how do we fix this problem? All right. If that is the problem, how do we fix it? That's not going to do any good. I mean, that's not how you want to play it for real. But everything landed that time. So putting a little extra bit of attention on that note. Let's do it again. That's too much attention. That's too fast. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so now we gotta remember the rest of the pattern. Play that coming down. Ba, ba, da, da, thinking too much about this hand? Am I just not thinking? Have I decided that I've figured it out, so I stop actually figuring? That I definitely stopped paying attention because I was thinking about how that was working. All right, do it again. Keep working. I was also thinking, just for a minute though, because I pulled myself back. You watched me pull myself back. I mean, if anyone's watching. But what I was actually thinking about is that I sort of have the dual role of student and teacher simultaneously. And sometimes students, maybe, I don't even know if this is true. Sometimes one of the reasons I get into trouble for thinking about what has to come next is because this is the role a teacher would play. The teacher would think about what has to come next, where the student may be more likely to be able to think about what is happening. Though we know, those of us who have had students, that they think about anything. They think about math tests. They think about, toilets that are running when they shouldn't be running. They think about clocks that are wrong. I mean, they think about all these things. So it's not the matter necessarily of me playing the student and teacher role simultaneously. And anyway, this is all geared toward me becoming a better teacher anyway, because we've already decided. We've already taken the pressure off me actually having to be any kind of sort of concert pianist. I just want to play this perfectly. That's all. And I think we sort of discredit this idea of, I don't think discredit is the right word. There's this sort of thing, you don't have to play it perfectly. Don't think about playing it perfectly. Think about being musical. And you see this also in master classes and things when you watch them. And okay, so I need to explain to you what is going on there because it's actually very interesting. The thing about the students that you see in master classes, when we start working beyond the whole, you don't have to play it perfectly thing and start thinking about different ways of making the notes important and whatnot, is because the students already know how to play. They know how to do all the things that need to be done. When we say to a kid, you don't have to play it perfectly, we are doing them a disservice. That's the word I meant, not discredit. What do I mean to say, though? The idea that at a point you can stop focusing on playing it perfectly and start putting in the slight variations that actually make things interesting. This is where we see singers, for example, begin to play with tone, and we see musicians not taking tempos perfectly strictly. There's science on this. I actually got to talk to the guy, the person who mixed the Hamilton album. There's a science beyond slight tempo variations and how they cause us to pay more attention. But they have to be very tiny. They can't be quite large, and then we start thinking of other things. And they can't be predictable either. But what I mean to say is, by the time we get to that, you actually already know how to execute the piece. Perfectly maybe is not the right word. We say, don't worry about doing it perfectly. Don't worry about... Because that's not what we mean to say. What we should tell kids is don't evaluate while you're playing it. Just keep focused on the notes. That's what we mean to say. Don't worry about playing it perfectly is a way of saying don't evaluate what you're playing while you're playing it. But kids hear it's okay to make mistakes, and that's different. It is okay to make mistakes, but what you do after you make the mistake is the thing. Okay, we've already done that. I don't need to do that again. That's interesting. And that was really because I lost focus. And that was also because I lost focus. Gosh. Sorry, I'm still stuck on this idea that I just sort of came up with. You don't have to play it perfectly, versus you don't have to worry about execution, versus the truth of the statement, don't evaluate what you're playing while you're playing it. And then here I am evaluating what I'm playing while I'm playing it. Actually evaluating what I'm saying about what I'm playing while I'm playing it. And thinking about not what to do next, not what to play next, but what to say next. How dangerous is that? All right. We want to do this again. What is preventing me from playing? Let's go back to the question. When I write my murder mysteries, I always have Larkin go back to the question of what does the murderer want, or what does this person want? It really is the fundamental question in theater, and in music it is what does this piece want? Is that it? I mean, this piece wants more attention paid to the down of these gestures. I keep worrying that I'm not pronouncing gesture correctly, like it's gesture. That's not right, it's gesture. Yeah. Okay. That was very nice. All right. Oh, what does this piece want is the same as what reality are you trying to create? Sort of, it's not exactly the same. What does this piece want? I'm actually not sure I like that phrasing at all. What do I want? What do I want to do next? But then if you ask a kid that, they're going to say, I want to quit. And then you have to say, well, don't, so you don't get what you want. I mean, what do you... Oh, my goodness. Let's go back to this. What reality do I want to create? What is preventing me? Those are two different questions. One is a positive, one is a negative, but they go together. What is preventing me from creating this reality? You have to ask that. When you're analyzing everything logically, you have to ask yourself, what would be the case if this were true, and what would be the case if this were false? But this is just giving me a chance to think of what I actually want to do next. One answer is, of course, I come back to this. Well, we put the thing together. We just play it all. And we see what else is in our way. And when you run out of ideas, sometimes the best thing to do is see what else is in your way. what gets in my way now are the repeats. We know this. It has been a thing. It has been a thing for me. What gets in my way are the repeats. Because then you get more evaluatory and less focused on the notes, and the notes fail. It will be interesting to play this tomorrow. I should play all 4 of them. I'm going to make a note of it. I want to put all 4 of them. Boom, 1, 2, 3, and 4. In fact, there's no reason I couldn't do it right now, but I suspect that I'm just tired enough to error more than, I don't know. All right, so play tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, and also Mozart 1. We'll sort of keep that as our one-off and see if we can get back to some of that. And I want to write down this, because I'll talk to Larry about it later this evening, this idea that don't play it perfectly really means don't evaluate as you play. Don't worry about playing it perfectly. Don't worry, be happy about playing perfectly equals don't evaluate as you play. That's really what it means. That's what I can't stop doing. All right, that's all we got.